A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tejo Turner, and we have met over other presentations, such as presentation skills, reading skills, and so on and so forth. So here I am again talking to you about a different set of skills. In this presentation, we are going to be talking about writing skills. The elements of good writing include these 5 components: purpose, audience, clarity, unity, and coherence. So over the next few slides, we will be talking about each one of these topics. Purpose. Why are you writing? So one doesn't just arbitrarily decide to take out pen and paper and write because one feels like, yes, one can do so. But when it comes to academic writing, you need to have a clear purpose for your piece of writing. You need to understand the purpose that you are trying to accomplish. So, the purpose refers to the goal that the writer is trying to achieve. Whether it be academic writing or any other kind of writing, the purpose of writing to begin with would be to inform the readers, to persuade the readers, or to entertain the readers. What then is a purpose statement? It's a short, simple sentence that clearly defines the topic of the paragraph. Again, before you start writing, you need to have your purpose statement in place. Reviewing the purpose statement helps writers stay on the topic, maintain the focus of writing, and keep away from off topics. For example, the purpose statement could be how to clean your room. Know for whom you are writing. Audience, of course, refers to the readers, your readers. So, good writers know who their audience is before they start writing. The 2 elements that you need to keep in mind while relating to your audience is a viewpoint or person. Are you going to be using the first person, second person, or third person? And then you need to make sure that all your pronouns and possessive adjectives that follow are in line or in sync with the person. So if you say, I walk every day in the park, my goal is to reduce 5 kgs. So the possessive adjective, needs to go with the pronoun I. And then you need to figure out whether your writing is going to be formal or informal. Clarity above all else. How do you want your readers to understand your writing, and can they? At this point, you need to think from the reader's perspective, and each point in the piece must be clearly explained. So clear sentences are typically not vague or indirect. So the audience knows what you're saying, and you achieve that by using specific and concise language. Purpose. Why are you writing? This needs to be absolutely clear to you even before you start your writing. So that means you need to start writing in your head even before you start putting your thoughts to paper. So the purpose is the goal the writer is trying to achieve. Now coming to the point of unity. Unity means that all sentences are related to the topic sentence and its main idea or controlling idea. So you cannot expect the readers to wander with you in your mind. So when they read what you're saying, they need to be able to have a logical sequence of ideas. They need to be able to see that logical sequence. Anyone can write a paragraph. But the point is, do you write good paragraphs? I've seen some paragraphs that have gone horribly wrong. Either they're one page long with no punctuations, no breaks. It literally does not give the reader a chance to take a mental break. Or all the ideas are jammed into one sentence. Or worse still, you've read through the whole paragraph and you're still not clear what the idea or the theme of the paragraph is. So let's try and look at some skills that will improve our paragraphing capabilities. So what are the different types of paragraphs that there can be? Well, some of them are descriptive paragraphs. Those that typically appeal to the five senses with a lot of, for example, you would have a paragraph that talks about what you saw, what you smelled, what you tasted. So this is a descriptive paragraph. Then you have something called a narrative, which tells a story. How you woke up on Sunday morning and you went to the market and there you found that there weren't enough strawberries, and then you went to the shop and you found that the man had an extra stash of strawberries behind the counter, and then you realized you know this man and he gave it to you at a lower price. So that whole thing is a story. It's a narrative. Now, what is an expository paragraph? An expository paragraph gives you instructions on, say, how to operate a washing machine. And then you have a persuasive paragraph where you try to get the audience to accept or understand a certain point of view. For example, you could be talking to the audience about why online classes are an advantage. So then you make your point and you make it in such a manner that the audience not only understands your point but accepts it also. Well, to recap, a good paragraph should have a topic sentence, a supporting sentence, and a concluding sentence. Please make sure that you mind the indentation, the capitalization, and the coherence. I've seen some assignments being handed in where every second word is capitalized, just like that, arbitrarily, for no particular reason. So I suggest that all of you go back to basics, figure out which words need to be capitalized and which not, and stay grammatically correct. So, devoted like the sentence to the development of one topic, a good paragraph is also, like a good essay, a complete treatment in itself. What is cohesion and what is coherence? Well, we'll look at that in some detail in the coming slides. But to give you an overall picture, it is the manner in which you weave your ideas together. The logical sequence, or how you string your ideas together such that it makes sense to the reader. Cohesion really means connecting different parts of a written text. This word comes from the word cohere, which means to stick together. So it is related to ensuring that the words and the sentences that you use stick together and don't come unglued somewhere in between. So, how does one achieve good cohesion while writing? Well, here are some guidelines. Repeated words or ideas, using reference words, transition signals, using substitution and ellipses. We will talk in brief about all of these points in the subsequent slides. So how does one achieve cohesion? You repeat words and ideas, so the audience can stay with you and the idea that you have in your head. For example, if you're talking about an apple, you make sure that you speak about the apple more than once. I went to the market to buy some apples, and there they were, bright red apples, looking at me and tempting me to buy them. And then you have reference words like it, these. If I had to use reference words in the example that I used before, I would probably say these apples that were so succulent on the outside were actually full of worms on the inside. You see, the reference words are it, these, those. Then you have transition signals or linking words. In an example, that would be, in contrast to these red apples were pale-looking oranges. But when I picked up one, orange, it turned out to be rather sweet. What is substitution? Take a look at this example. Speaking on the mobile while driving is illegal in many countries, since doing so can seriously impair one's ability to drive safely. Here, the phrase doing so substitutes for the phrase speaking on the mobile, which appears at the beginning of the sentence. Then you have ellipses. These are also called substitution by zero, since essentially one or more words are substituted with no word taking their place. If I had to use it in a sentence, I would probably say one great virtue is patience and the second is forgiveness. So what I really mean is the second virtue. What is the difference between cohesion and coherence? Cohesion is really the micro level of a text, words and sentences and how they join together. Coherence, on the other hand, relates to the organization and connection of ideas and whether they can be understood by the reader. And coherence is more concerned with the macro level features of a text, such as topic sentences, thesis statement, the summary in the concluding paragraph, and other bigger features including headings, such as those used in reports. Coherence can be improved by using an outline before writing, or a reverse outline, which is an outline written once the writing is finished, to check and see that the ideas are logical, well organized, and seem to have a structure. I recommend that you ask a peer to check the writing to see if it makes sense. So this is one way of helping improve coherence in your writing. What are lexical resources? Lexical resources refers to using academic style and word choice such that it improves your writing skills. So here are a few tips on how to better use your words and improve your academic style. Avoid overusage and repetition. Avoid using one word over and over again in the same paragraph. I'll give you a rather simplistic example. Tom went to school. He didn't like it there. So Tom ran away from school. And in the course of time, Tom realized the value of education. Okay, now instead of so many Toms, you could probably use pronouns. A substitute. Another pitfall to watch out for is copying words right from the task. So you are given a certain paragraph and then you take the words right from there. Now, while paraphrasing is important, please avoid paraphrasing each and every word. What you could do though is use collocations. What are they? The usage of two or more words that go together. So a good way to get better at this is make sure you use the words together while practicing. For example, it is make tea, do the laundry. So make tea is different from make nice or make up, right? And try and use topic related vocabulary. Collocations also refer to verbs which match the noun. So go back to the basics and make sure that the conjugation of your verbs are accurate. Grammatical range, in my opinion, is really the most important part of writing. It isn't simply about a subject, verb, predicate. It is about knowing your grammar, knowing the language. And as they rightly say, ladies and gentlemen, it's not so much what you say as the manner in which you say it. And for that, you need to have your grammar in place. Once that is in place, let's look at some other techniques and pitfalls to avoid. Well, verbose is not literary. Avoid clunky phrases, though at some point you might have to use them, but by and large, if you can replace a phrase, especially a clunky phrase, with one word, it makes for better reading, more concise and precise writing. For example, instead of saying a majority of, you could use most, or a number of, you could say many. They are of the same opinion, you could simply say they agree. Or saying at the present moment, use now. And less frequently occurring could be replaced with rare. Take a look at this example. To control infection with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, a robust cell-mediated immune response is necessary, and deficiency in this response predisposes an individual towards active TB. All of this could be said as deficiency in T-cell mediated immune response predisposes an individual towards active TB. And there you go. So much more clear, so much more concise, and so much more effective. Well, to sum it all up, remember the 7 C's of effective writing. Make sure you're correct, concise, clear, complete, concrete, considerate of the reader, of course, and courteous in your writing. Do take a look at these websites. They would be of immense help to you. As I mentioned before, you need to keep practicing to get better at writing. So for your assignment, please do write an essay of 500 words about your favorite author, who could also be a columnist, mentioning the above mentioned techniques that he or she has used to make his or her work appealing to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you well. This is Tejo Turner signing off. Thank you for your time.